Hi, this is David Trebeek, founder of Remax Haven Property Management. In this video, we're going to talk about some frequently asked questions that new owners might have as they join our team. Water and sewer billing is a little bit unique in Cleveland in that the accounts do not go in the tenant's names. They actually stay in the owner's name of the account. So that means we would, of course, trust the tenant just to pay the bill because it's not their bill. So what we do instead is we will have, if you opt, the bill sent to our office, we'll pay that bill, and then we'll turn around and seek reimbursement from the tenant for those charges. Of course, if they don't pay those charges, that may subject them to an eviction action, as we do treat it as rent. Do I need to cut the grass, or why am I being billed for cutting the grass? As you may know, in Cleveland, there's a very lush growing season in the spring and the fall, and also the grass continues to grow throughout the summer. Now, the cities in the area make it a point to monitor very closely if grass is not being mowed to strict standards. And they do this partly to keep up the neighborhoods and, let's be honest, partly to generate revenue as their fines are very expensive. Therefore, if you have a multifamily building or a property that's vacant, a single family that's vacant, we're going to automatically start lawn mowing unless you tell us otherwise. This protects you as the owner from getting outrageous fines from the city. How does the eviction process work? Well, that's a great question, and hopefully you don't ever have to find out, but it is part of the business, and we do have to do it from time to time. Each city is a little bit different, but the general prospect is at Remax, we will begin our collection process on the 5th by assigning a late fee. By the 7th, we start to post 3-day notices on people's doors. In that time, we start to text and email and give phone calls out to those tenants, reminding that their rent is due. By the 15th, anybody who doesn't have their rent paid, those files get turned over to our attorneys. The attorneys will take a couple days to put those together and file them in the separate courts. And from there, it usually takes 2 to 3, could be up to 4 weeks, depending on the city, to get a court date. At that court date, most likely we'll win that case because non-payment of rent doesn't have any defenses. And from there, usually the move out is 7 to 10 days. There are a couple cities like Euclid that require you to actually store contents for another 30 days after, but most of them allow you to just change the locks and either put the belongings on the curb or dispose of them as you see fit. Do I need to maintain utilities during vacancy? And/or why am I getting billed for electric and gas? The simple answer is yes, you do need to maintain those utilities during vacancy periods. So if you don't have a tenant there paying the bills, you're the one that's responsible for those bills. Why do we have them on? Well, easy. For showings, for repairs, we need to have heat, we need to have electricity, and we want to make sure we're presenting the units in its best light when we are doing the marketing. How does the turnover of a unit work? Well, it's likely that at some point your tenant will leave the unit, although we try to keep them there as long as possible because the turnover process does have some cost to it. At the time that they give us notice, we'll indicate to them the things they need to do to ensure they get their security deposit back. Once they turn in their keys to our office, we'll send somebody over to do 2 things. One, they'll do walkthrough to find out if there's any deductions to security deposit. And the second thing is that they're going to look for any repairs that need to be done to make the property, the unit, marketable again. We'll then go back to the office and send out the security deposit letter to the tenant, which is due within 30 days, which we always get out ahead of time. And the second thing we're going to do is send off that scope of work to a contractor to get a bid. Now, if it's a very small scope of work, we may just go in and do that quick cleanup. If it's a larger scope of work, then we're going to engage you to find out how you'd like to do that. Once the work is complete or almost complete, we'll have a quality control check. As long as that quality control says that the unit is marketable at that time, even if it's not exactly perfect, we'll go ahead and put it on the market. Putting on the market includes ordering professional photos if we haven't done that yet for the unit. Those photos right now cost anywhere from $50 to $75, but they really make a big difference in presenting the unit well, which gives you a better tenant and better rent amounts. At that point, we'll put the unit onto multiple sites, including most site units go onto the MLS, and that pushes it out to multiple sites, including things like Zillow, Trulia, HotPads, and Craigslist.